Hey, what's going on, Chapel Middle School? So glad you're back. I have some awesome news. Starting next week, middle school is meeting at 10 a.m. at all campuses. So I hope that you will come and hang out with us. We really want to just get together with you and hear about how your summer's been going, how your family is, have some fun together and experience some joy. So I hope you'll come be with us that Sunday, August 9th at all campuses at 10 a.m. Just that service. And so we'll meet you outside. It'll be great to see you. We have a great show for you today. We're going to hit the fourth part of Joseph's story and a couple more surprises in for you. But as always, let's start it with the game of the week. Hey, what's going on, Chapel Middle School? Welcome to the game of the week. I'm on my own this week. Joe is teaching in the regular service, and so I am on my own. It's not going to be as good, but I'm going to do my best. So, first of all, we need to give away these incredibly gross sandwich bags. I can't believe they sell them on Amazon, and I cannot believe that someone of you who commented is actually going to get these in your home. So that's pretty gross. I hope we keep it a secret for them. So the people who are playing today are, we have Derek Barnhill, we have Ben Musser, and the one and only Alex Hill. So all guys this week, all right? So one of these gentlemen is going to come away with some gross sandwich bags. Let's see who's going to win. All right, we're ready. Get set, go. And stop. All right, congratulations, Derek. Nice job. I'll be sending those to you this week. It would typically be time for the Joe Binkley dad joke of the week, and Joe was going to tell me a dad joke, but I forgot it. He did tell me it, but I totally forgot it. But I do have a video that Joe showed me once, and it is all about survivors of dad jokes. Check it out.
I walked into the kitchen yesterday and I said to my dad, "Hey, I'm hungry." And my dad said, "Hi, hungry. I'm Dad."
Well, we were having dinner and Dad spilled his peas on the table. He looked right at me and said, "Oh no, I have just peed on the table."
Dad asked me, "Have you heard about the new movie, Constipation?" I was all like, "What? No." And he said, "It never came out." Who even calls a movie Constipation?
My dad and I were going past the aquarium. He said to me, "How many tickles does it take to make an octopus laugh?" And he said, 10 tickles. Like, what? Oh, tentacles. Hey Dad, can you make me a sandwich?
And what did Dad say?
Abracadabra. You are a sandwich. I guess I am a sandwich.
All right, well, hey, it is time for our game of the week. I am a huge movie guy. I love movies, all kinds of movies. And so our game this week has to do with movies. And I imagine with the coronavirus, you have been watching so many movies. Oh, my word. So check out this fun video that's kind of a smash up of a bunch of movies that I bet that you've probably seen. Check it out.
Welcome to Post-Apocalypsia.
Welcome to Post-Apocalypsia.
I'm the giver.
I'm the giver.
Stop it, Jay! That's Mockingjay, and this is the Maze Runner.
You're gonna need this for the Hunger Games.
There was a war. We won, but all the parents and old people are dead. All that's left are extremely attractive 25-year-olds pretending to be teenagers.
They divide us into factions based on personality traits. They're called cliques.
We're forced to hang out with people just like us.
So it's like high school.
These futuristic words won't mean anything to you, but the groups are called jock, emo, hipster, geek, and preppy.
You'll have to choose.
But why? What if I don't want to choose a clique?
No one's ever asked that before.
There's something different about you.
You must be the chosen one.
The one the prophecy spoke of.
The one to clean up our ugly divisions.
You are the detergent. They'll be looking for you. You'll have to hide in one of the cliques.
Why are we running?
What are you doing? It's the horrible twisted nightmare serum to help you decide which group.
I was just gonna eeny, meeny, miny, moe it.
We're really into serums.
Whoa, okay, let's talk about this.
There are 2 stages of training. The first one, stage 1. Second, stage 2. It comes after stage 1. We're gonna do stage 1 first.
Got it. We got it.
Who are you?
Theatness Ever Prior. Who are you?
Bread. Pita bread. I'm the really good-looking, mysterious guy who's gonna be mean to you all during training. Then you're gonna find out you're falling for me. I'm also required to take my shirt off at least twice. Even if there's no good reason to. Just FYI.
Got it.
You gotta learn how to trust your clique.
Want me to trust you? How about not throwing knives at me?
Guess this means you aren't the detergent.
No, it means you're terrible at throwing knives!
Maybe I should have taken my shirt off first.
Who is this girl? And why won't she live by our rules?
Because I don't want to.
Oh, she's good. I never thought of it like that.
Hold still, so I can give you our do whatever we say serum.
No. I'm the detergent.
Hey, could you wash my socks?
Not that kind of detergent.
Is now a good time to take off my shirt?
No.
All right. Well, hey, our game this week is called Drive-In Movie Mania. So I don't have anyone with me playing, so I'm just going to give you some time. You want to find someone to play with you. And once again, like always, I will wait while you find someone who will play this game with you. And once they're in the room, I'll explain how to play. Ready? Go. Okay. I'm guessing they are there now. All right, so here are instructions for Drive-In Movie Mania. Players will guess the title of the movie playing at the drive-in based on the images given. The first to guess correctly wins the point or the round. Are you ready? These will go pretty quick. I'll give you just a few seconds, and then I'm moving on. So if you don't know it by then, you both don't get the point, all right? Or neither one of you win the round. So, but I'm guessing these are pretty easy. You'll get them right away. All right, you ready? Here we go. First one. First movie. I'm sure you got this one right. Cars, of course. All right, nice job. You have to keep the score at home since I can't see you. All right, second movie. Here we go. And it's The Avengers. The Avengers. I don't know which one. There have been so many of them. All right, this next one, I hope you haven't seen, but it's pretty famous, so you might be able to guess it even if you haven't seen it. All right, you ready? Here you go. Ugh. Yeah, I hated this movie because I grew up in California, so I always thought of this when I was swimming. Always. Yep, I'm sure if you're playing with a parent, they probably got it first, but it is Jaws. That's right, Jaws. This one, definitely the youngest person in the room will definitely get this one. Here you go. Here is your next movie playing at the drive-in. Oh, my word. I love Jack Black. Yep. Kung Fu Panda. Kung Fu Panda. Nice job. All right, next one you'll get for sure as well. What could that be? What movie? Of course, Finding Nemo. Finding Nemo, of course. Continuing on with Disney movies, here's your next one. Your next clue. That doesn't even sound like the Lion King. Oh, that's it, the Lion King. That doesn't even sound like that at all. That was terrible. All right, here's an old summer blockbuster for you. Don't know if you've seen that with Will Smith. It is Men in Black. Men in Black. Yes, sugar. All right, a lot of Pixar movies. That's your hint for this one. Are you ready? Here you go. The Claw. You guessed it. Toy Story. Of course, Toy Story. All right, this one, I don't know. I don't know if you'll get it or not. Maybe. Check it out. This is kind of a harder one. This week's game brought to you by Diet Mountain Dew. All right, this game, Monsters, Inc. Monsters, Inc. All right, I guarantee you whoever's oldest in the room is going to get this next one. What could that be? Extra bonus points if the person who guessed it correctly can tell you the name of that person. And it is from the movie Castaway. Castaway. All right. Here we go. Next one. Do you know it? I'm sure someone's already guessed it by now. Indiana Jones and or Raiders of the Lost Ark. Yeah. All right, here's your next one. Loads of these movies, loads of them. Certainly, you got it. Ice Age, right? I love that squirrel. He's crazy. All right, next one. Here we go. What could that be? No, it's not the Umbrella Academy. Oh my word, who are you? No, it is A Spoonful of Sugar Helps the Medicine Go Down. It's Mary Poppins. Mary Poppins. Yeah, you got it. All right, we got two more. So I don't know what the score is, but hopefully it's close. Here you go, next one. A little tougher. I don't even know what that is. It looks like a yellow Garfield or an acorn. I don't think I would get this, but because I'm running the game, I know the answer. Again, another cartoon, summer cartoon. It is Tangled. I don't even know if you guys got that. All right, well, if the score is tied, here is your tiebreaker. Are you ready? Here you go. What could that be? Yep, you guessed it. Guardians of the Galaxy. You got it. Nice job. And that is Drive-In Movie Mania. Man, I want to go to a drive-in right now. It'd be so fun. You're probably tired of movies. All you need to do to be entered into our prize is I want you to comment below your favorite movie. It could be any movie, whatever your favorite movie is. And next week, we will draw a name from all the people that wrote down the name of their favorite movie. And we'll pick a winner, and that winner will receive something related to their favorite movie. There you go. That is our game of the week. Next week, I promise, Joe will be back. All right, week 4 of the big picture. We've been talking about how oftentimes we experience life and we only see one small part of the picture instead of seeing the big picture, everything that's going on. And yet when we can see the big picture, everything changes. Like, for example, this picture right here, right? Just someone enjoying their vacation, it looks like, taking advantage of the summer, and school is gonna start at the end of this month. And so they're just enjoying some time on the beach, right? Until you pull back and see the big picture for what it really is, and it changes everything. Those are not knees. So that's what we mean. The idea is that we only see so much in our lives, and yet when we pull it back and see the big picture, we can see how God has been at work in our lives. And that's where faith comes in, because it is so hard. Like, so many times we're wondering, God, why are you doing this? Why are you allowing this to happen? Like, this is a whole coronavirus, right? We're like, good night, this is crazy. We've never experienced anything like this. What's the point? What's the point of all of this? God, why is this happening? And maybe it's not the coronavirus. Maybe you're not wondering about that, but maybe it's other things going on. Maybe you felt like that in school, right? You were going through a class and you're like, I am never going to use this in my life. What is the point? Or maybe you feel like that at home, like with your chores, or maybe watching your brother or sister. You're like, why do I have to do this? What's the point of this? Like, what's the point of making my bed if I'm just gonna sleep in it again, right? I know you've used that one. Maybe you're dealing with disappointment in the summer. You thought the summer was gonna be different. You were gonna go to camp. You were going to go to mix. You were gonna go to some awesome sports camp, and now because of the virus, you weren't able to. Or maybe you thought you'd be hanging out with your friends, but it hasn't been happening, and you're just disappointed. You're like, man. Maybe you're dealing with some even heavier stuff. Maybe your family is getting divorced, or maybe you've lost someone in your life. Maybe you are going to another foster home, or maybe you're dealing with some relationship issues, and you're just struggling. You're wondering, why is this happening? What's the point? Or maybe it's in your faith. Maybe you're having a hard time praying. Maybe you try to open up the Bible and God just seems so far away, and you're like, what is the point of all of this? And maybe you're a Browns fan and you know that you're going to feel that way in just a few months. Hey, we all go through difficult times in our lives where we ask, what's the point? Why is this happening? We can't see the bigger picture, and what we're going through doesn't make any sense. And when we feel that way, it's nearly impossible to believe that something good can come from it. So what are you supposed to do when you feel that way? That's why we've been talking about Joseph, because he lived this life. To recap, week 1, we introduced you to Joseph and his family. We introduced you to his brothers and how Joseph was kind of a twerp and his brothers didn't like him. In fact, they hated him, and his dad treated him extra special because he was the second youngest. And we talked about that when you can't see the bigger picture, remember the impact you have on your family. Then week 2, we saw when Joseph went to go visit his brothers, and his brothers were like, let's kill him and we'll throw him in this well. And then this one guy, one of the brothers named Judah, is like, well, hey, let's not kill him. Let's just throw him in the well. They're like, yeah, that's fine too. And then they see some traders going by. They're like, hey, let's sell him for slavery and we'll still tell dad that he's dead. And we talked about that when you can't see the bigger picture, remember that God is taking care of you. So then last time when we got together, we talked about how Joseph, being a slave, became owned by a guy named Potiphar and was awesome at his jobs and was in charge of everything in Potiphar's house. And that one day when Potiphar was gone, Potiphar's wife gave Joseph an invitation to become more than friends, to have a sleepover, to fool around. And Joseph was like, no way, I could never do that to my master. He's trusted me with everything. and the only thing he hasn't trusted me with is you, and there's no way I'm gonna do that. And so she grabbed him and he ran away, leaving his cloak, and she lied and said, he tried to get with me and have his way with me. And so Joseph ended up going to prison. And we talked about that when you can't see the big picture, do the next right thing. And that's what Joseph did. And where did it land him? In jail. Talk about unfair. Can you imagine what Joseph was feeling then? I know what I'd be feeling. I'd be like, how could you do this to me, God? I did the right thing. I ran away. I was pure, and now I'm here? What is going on with my life? When are these bad things going to stop happening? I get beaten up by my brothers, get sold into slavery, and now I'm in jail. What is going on? What is the point of all of this? And I think those are fair questions. I mean, Joseph was doing everything right, and look where it got him, here. But thankfully, God sees the bigger picture. And even when Joseph was in jail, God was taking care of him. God was working behind the scenes to help him. He was working for good even during Joseph's pain, even though Joseph couldn't see it. You see, when Joseph was in prison, he wasn't alone. There were two other guys with him. The first guy I'll tell you about was the baker. Now, the baker didn't look like this, I'm sure, but you get the idea. His job was to bake for the king. And I don't know what happened, what he did, but he got thrown in jail. The other guy was the cupbearer. We gotta have a better picture than that, right? That guy looks weird. Okay, this is a little older, maybe, and he's missing a hand. I don't know about that, but here's the idea that he's got a cup of wine, and so what he's gonna do is he protects the king by testing the wine. So they pour the wine in the cupbearer drinks the wine, and as long as the cupbearer doesn't die, he passes on the wine to the king. A very risky job. And I don't know what he did to get into trouble, but he's down there in prison as well. So what Joseph didn't see yet is both of these guys were going to play an important role in Joseph's story, in the big picture. So let's pick up the story in Genesis chapter 40. It says this. While they were in prison, Pharaoh's cupbearer and baker each had a dream one night, and each dream had its own meaning. And when Joseph saw them the next morning, he noticed that they both looked upset. Hey, why do you look so worried today? He asked them, and they replied, we both had dreams last night, but no one can tell us what they mean. And Joseph says, well, hey, God can interpret your dreams, and if you tell me what your dreams are, maybe God will tell me what they are. And so the cupbearer is like, awesome, well, here's my dream. I had a dream that there was this vine, and on the vine there were 3 branches, and all of a sudden these grapes appeared, and they got swollen and huge, and they were awesome. And all of a sudden the Pharaoh's cup was in my hand, and so I took the grapes and I squished them, and I squeezed out all the juice, and then I gave the cup and I put it in a Pharaoh's hand. What does that mean? And Joseph's like, well, here's what it means. Those 3 branches represent 3 days. So in 3 days, Pharaoh is going to take you out of prison. He's going to let you out, and he's going to give you your job back. And the guy's like, really? He's like, yeah. So dude, remember me when you go out. Remember that I helped you out, right? Hook a brother up. Let me know what happened. So of course the baker, he's like, oh, right? He pulls a Drax from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Do me.
So he's like, let me tell you about my dream. So in my dream, I have 3 baskets of bread on my head, and on the top basket are all kinds of delicious different breads for the Pharaoh. And these birds keep diving in and they keep trying to take the bread away. What does that mean? And Joseph's like, so what that means is each one of those baskets was a day. So in 3 days, Pharaoh is going to bring you out of prison, and you're going to die. You're going to die, and the birds are going to eat your flesh. Okay, so fast forward 3 days, right? Let's continue with the passage. Pharaoh's birthday came 3 days later, and he prepared a banquet for all his officials and staff. He summoned his chief cupbearer and chief baker to join the other officials. He then restored the chief cupbearer to his former position so he could again hand Pharaoh his cup. But Pharaoh impaled the chief baker just as Joseph had predicted when he interpreted his dream. Pharaoh's chief cupbearer, however, forgot all about Joseph, never giving him another thought. Dude, that is messed up. Can you blame Joseph for feeling bad about his situation, for getting frustrated because he can't see the bigger picture? I mean, for 2 more years, Joseph is in prison. Like, he's waiting for the cupbearer to remember him and be like, hey, I got this guy downstairs. His name's Joseph. He can really help you out. He's awesome. You might consider bringing him up. But he forgets. 2 years. 2 years is a long time. Do you remember the yodeling kid in Walmart? That was 2 years ago. Or did you go see Ralph Breaks the Internet or Mary Poppins Returns in the theater? Yeah, that was 2 years ago. 2 years is a long time. Well, that's what the situation that Joseph was in. 2 years later, Pharaoh has this crazy dream, and no one can interpret it for him. And the cupbearer is sitting there, and all of a sudden he remembers Joseph. And he tells Pharaoh, hey, I know a guy who can tell you what your dreams mean. So Pharaoh brought him up and he said, hey, this guy says you can interpret dreams. Is that true? And he says, well, I can't interpret it, but God can, and God will tell me. And so Pharaoh tells him these 2 wacky dreams that he had, and Joseph tells him what it means. Take a look what happens next. Then Pharaoh said to Joseph, since God has revealed the meaning of the dreams to you, clearly no one else is as intelligent or as wise as you are. You will be in charge of my court, and all my people will take orders from you. Only I, sitting on my throne, will have a rank higher than yours. Whoa. Finally, after all the struggling, after all the suffering, after being abandoned by his family, given up for dead, sold into slavery, convicted of a crime he never committed, finally, something good is happening in Joseph's life. But here's the thing. This isn't about Joseph finally getting some good news. This isn't about him getting a promotion or a happy ending. This is about the bigger picture. See, what Joseph didn't realize that during that time when he was in prison, God was putting together this bigger story in his life. God was right there in the middle of it, and he was positioning Joseph to do something incredible that only Joseph could do. Joseph's story was painful and filled with problems. And through those problems, God was creating a better future for Joseph. Joseph just had to be willing that God was truly good, and that God was present in his situation, and that God was working things out for his good. And that had to be incredibly difficult. You see, in our lives, we may never understand why things happen. We may never understand about the coronavirus or our family splitting up. We may never understand the disappointment we feel or the hurts. We may never understand why we're dealing with the things we're dealing with and why our circumstances are the way they are. But we can trust that just like for Joseph, God is creating a bigger picture for us. And while creating our bigger picture, God is working for our good. And we don't know what that good can look like. It may look like something we have no idea. Like Joseph had no idea what this good would look like. But goodness only comes from God. And so if we can trust that, even though we don't know what it's going to look like, that God has a bigger picture for us. When we trust God right where we are, we can trust that He's working the best out for us even if we can't see it or understand it. In other words, when you can't see the bigger picture, trust that God is working for your good. And that's our big idea this week. When you can't see the bigger picture, trust that God is working for your good. So how do we do that? How do we trust God when we're going through these difficult situations? I think we can do it in 3 steps. The first one is this: exercise faith. On a daily basis, maybe even on an hourly basis, you have to say, God, I trust you. You have to remind yourself that, again, God is good and God is taking care of you. Just like He took care of Joseph, He is going to take care of you. And you may have to say to yourself over and over again, God, I need your help. I am trusting that you are good and that you are faithful and that you are taking care of this, and that later on I'll see the big picture and I'll see how you did this. The second thing is this: look for the good. Look for the good. And this is hard to do, but when you're in the middle of a hard situation, we so much want that pain to go away. We don't want to feel that at all. We want the situation to be over. But I want to encourage you to stay and look around and see if God is trying to do something with you in that place. Maybe He's trying to tell you something, or maybe He has someone for you to minister to or to care for. What is God doing in that place? Look for it. And the last one is this: seek encouragement. There are going to be times when you're struggling and you're going to need some help. And I want to encourage you to go to someone that is a God follower, someone that is trusting Christ with their life. Maybe that's your mom or your dad or a grandparent or a brother or a sister or a family friend or a small group leader or your youth pastor or whoever it is. And I want to encourage you, just say to them, hey, can you tell me a time in your life when you were going through a really tough experience? How did God work it out for you? When you look at the big picture, where was God in that painful situation? Man, that would be an awesome thing for you to do this week. A little bit of homework from the middle school ministry. I want to encourage you and challenge you to do that this week. Ask someone that you love and respect, someone that's a Christ follower, and ask them, when you were going through a difficult circumstance, what was that difficult circumstance, and how did you see God's goodness through it? How did you see in the big picture, how did God take care of you in that? That would be awesome. So remember, when you can't see the bigger picture, trust that God is working for your good. As we close, here's what I want you to be thinking about. What's one situation in my life right now that I don't understand the point of? What's one situation right now that I don't understand the point of? Hey, all right, that's it for us. I cannot wait to see you next week, 10 a.m. Have a great week.